Alright, well, we had a hose get hung up on the excavator, and I tried to find these fittings. I ordered the wrong ones. I think I know what they are now. But in contacting Sanny, the part number for this tractor, there are none in stock. So they're sending me an alternative part, and we'll see how that works out. So I need to order the fitting that I think it is so that I can verify that it is in fact that. And that way it's just one more step towards not having to rely on somebody else. So meanwhile, I bought one of these couplers. And we're gonna use it to repair this hose, hopefully. Nothing ever goes as planned. So let's see if we can get this in there. Well, that's it. You can see the one on this side. They come with this protective sleeve here, which is pretty good until it gets up and loops over this bolt, and then you don't pay attention to it, and that bolt eventually just wears its way in. You can see it had been riding up there for a while, but now we're just a little bit shorter because we had to cut out that bad piece. We flipped the hose around so that this isn't contacting this, and she's not leaking, so. All right, now we're on to the next machine. So here's what happened. I wanted to be self-reliant, so I bought a Gates 4-20 crimper. And then I wanted to be cheap, so I bought not Gates fittings and hose. It was less cheap and more availability. I could get the non-Gates stuff to the house in 2 days, and the Gates stuff was going to take a week. So I ordered the other stuff because I'm just getting into the world of hydraulics, so I don't know a lot. And I'm going to learn the hard and the expensive way, because now I have quite a few fittings that are probably going to sit in a box until I eventually die or throw them away. So we made the hose, we brought it out here, put it on. It seemed to be working fine, and then it started leaking profusely. So we took it off, took it back home, did a bunch of research. The problem is, if you look at the crimp collar on a Gates, like the Mega Crimp, it's a lot beefier than the ones that I'm trying to use that I purchased elsewhere that are not Gates brand. So when you look at the Gates chart and it says you're using -6 hose with the Mega Crimp, you need to set your machine to this setting and then crimp it down until the red light and tells you, that your crimp is tight enough. And then you just double check it with the calipers. Well, when you use something not Gates, you don't have that to go by. So I'm still figuring that out. If I can use those, I just don't know. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But until then, we have Gates fittings now. But of course, the Gates hose is back ordered. So it was supposed to have shipped 5 days ago, and we need the machine. Like, I've needed the machine since it went down, but I've just been doing other stuff while I try and get the machine back up. Well, it's not the machine, it's the grapple. So I had some other options, and I've kind of just thrown money at all of those options. So I ordered some hoses. I ordered them 4 foot long, and the flat face connectors used to be 90s. And these are the hydraulic hoses for the rams on that. Well, when it originally failed, I lost one of those 90s somewhere out here in the field. 90s are like 2 or 3 times the price of just a standard flat face connector. So I ordered standard flat face connectors without a 90. It's putting this weird stress on the hose, and the hoses don't really know where to lay because they're getting pulled in too many different directions. And I feel like that 90 that they had put on there from the people who manufactured this. I never had to worry about really the hoses laying down. Now, they were way too long, and that's kind of what led to their ultimate demise, because they were just unmanageable at that length. Because I know some machines have the remotes up higher or back farther, where these are right there. So I went 4-foot hose. We're gonna put some 90s on these connectors today, and then I also went down to Tractor Supply and grabbed some of their generic hose and a bunch of fittings, which is just throwing more money at a problem. But right now I'm to the point I can't get to a hydraulic shop. I have to order my hoses online. That takes, like, these hoses, I ended up having them overnighted, which was $40 in shipping, just to try and get this machine back up. So long story short, I think I have at least 2 solutions in the interim until I can get my Gates hose in and I can be ready to officially make fittings on my own, or make hoses on my own and current fittings. So yeah, we need to get this machine back up today. We have brush down everywhere. Cleared 8 acres. We cleared 8 acres out here, and all these trees are just laying on the ground now, kind of in piles or in rows, because as you grab something with the excavator, you can swing it around and drop it behind you, and you kind of make a semi-neat row. But these all need to be stacked up and burned. You can see, got this giant burn pile here, one there, another one about that size on the back side of this pile. Let's see, there's a pile there that we're gonna toss all this stuff onto, and then we're gonna have to do one on the back side of the property just to save time, because if you pick it up and then you track it all the way back over here, that's a lot of time, when we could just burn a pile out there too. And that's next week's plan. And by next week, I mean like in 2 days, these piles are gonna get lit. We got rain today, so the surrounding woods are going to be nice and moist. Hopefully our piles are dry enough and dry out. I know a lot of it's green and it's going to make a lot of smoke, but we're going to use a torch and a blower and really get these piles cooking. But that's not this video, that's a different video. This video is just trying to get these machines back up so we can continue. We got a kind of a small window because I have some time off of work, so I can sit out here for 3 or 4 days and let this big pile over here burn until it's done, and not have to worry about leaving it, because I don't want to leave it out here burning. So let's get this machine put back together and get it operational so we can get to work. The other problem is, like, Tractor Supply had one of these 90s in stock. Then I went down to Agri Supply and they had one of these 90s in stock. And that's my fear. But the way everything's been going is that when I need something and I can't get it, or I'm not going to be able to get it, it's going to put me to a crippling stop. I don't want that. So once I figure out exactly what fittings I need for these kind of exposed hoses, the ones that are the most likely to get damaged on the excavator and the skid steer, I'll go ahead and get a couple of everything ordered up and just kind of keep it on standby. Because with land clearing especially, it seems inevitable. I managed to beat on them pretty good and get lucky up until the last like acre of clearing. Well, maybe that's 2 acres. Here's a generic tractor supply hose, 3/8 inch by 60 inches, and it just has the 3/8 inch NPT on the ends, both ends, so it'll be better than nothing, but a custom hose with less joints would be preferable. Even preferable to kind of what I have going on now, but you know what? It's gonna have to do. This is the real world and not everything is perfect.